Hi, Bruce Goodray from Benchmark Business Sales. If you're thinking about buying a business, you really should give Benchmark a call. We've got hundreds of businesses for sale right now in 4 offices in Australia, in Melbourne, Sydney, Gold Coast and Brisbane. We've also got a free book that'll help you go through the process of buying a business. And the book's got 12 tips on buying a business, and we call it Acquiring a Business, a guide to making it easy. First tip in here, it talks about getting the best possible advice that you can, about putting a team of people together that will help you through the process from start to finish. The second tip talks about analysing your own strengths and weaknesses and knowing really within yourself what makes you good and not so good at owning a business and what's the right type of business for you. The third tip talks about the 5 negative attributes that all businesses will have, at least 1 or 5 of those attributes, and it's really interesting to have a look at what they are. The fourth tip in the book talks about funding and finance, and obviously funding and finance is a very important part of the process, and some of the tips in there are very helpful. The fifth tip in the book talks about valuation and how much a business is worth, and most business buyers will find it really interesting to have a look at how a business should be valued. The sixth tip talks about securing the future. It's not just a matter of when you buy a business, paying a price and taking over. You really need to make sure that the things that make that business run are secured, like the staff, contracts, suppliers and the lease. We talk about that in the book. The seventh tip is about preparation. There's a lot involved in buying a business and you really need to be prepared. So there's a couple of pages devoted to that. The eighth tip in the book talks about where you can find a business for sale. It's not just a case of looking on the internet. There's a lot of other places you can go to find really good businesses. The ninth tip talks about the pitfalls and what you should be careful of when you're looking to buy a business, and that's obviously very helpful. The 10th tip talks about confidentiality, and the 11th one talks about net profit and what is net profit and how you calculate net profit and the different ways of looking at profit. The 12th tip talks about finding the perfect business, which we all want. It's very, very hard to find and usually not possible. And last of all, we talk about why you should use a business broker. If you'd like a copy of this book, please call us on our 1300 number or email us. Thank you.
To get the right formula and to make a prompt sale, go no further than Benchmark. At Benchmark, you deal with specialists, not just salespeople. Call today and find out how we can make the process simple.